Hi, welcome to Bruce's Garage. I'm Bruce and this is my garage. Today I get to use another Katiba product. Last weekend I used Katiba ceramic coating on this same Rivian and it's working fantastic. The hydrophobics are off the charts. We're going to try to get those same results by using Katiba glass coating on the windshield and the other glass in this Rivian. It'll make it safer to drive in the rain and add some tremendous hydrophobics. So come on in and let's have some fun. All right, so we're getting ready to apply Katiba Glass Shield to the windshield on this Rivian. Now, as with any ceramic product, before you apply ceramic coating, the most important thing for any ceramic coating is the prep. So if the surface is not prepared to properly accept the coating, you're going to impede the effectiveness of the coating as well as its longevity. So to get the most out of Katiba, what we did first was we just washed the glass when I washed the vehicle. Then we're going to I use Glaco, which is a glass compound, to remove any protection that was on the glass. It's also a good way to kind of do a quick polish without having to drag out your polisher. I have found Glaco compound works really, really well. And in fact, when I've used it on other vehicles that had protection, the compound, just by putting it on, spraying it off, eliminated all the protection that was on the glass. It was amazing to me because it didn't require a lot of work. So I've already used the Glaco glass compound on the glass. Now we're ready for one last step before we apply the coating, and that's simply the panel prep stage. So we're going to take panel prep, spray it on the glass, wipe it off. It's the last step to make sure the glass is clean, to make sure the glass has no polish, the compound, nothing on there that will impede Katiba Glass Shield from adhering to the surface. So let's do that. In this case, the panel prep I'm just using Armor Detail panel prep. And I'm just going to spray a liberal amount on the glass. And then using a glass towel and doing a nice thorough clean of the glass. As I said, I just washed this vehicle and just polished this glass with that glass compound. It's very grabby, which is what you want. It means it's nice and clean. Nothing on here. Can flip to the other side of this great towel from Thor. Yep. Nice and clean. Now that the glass is completely clean, we're ready to apply the coating. So I'm shaking up the bottle of Katiba and I'm going to put coating on the applicator. The applicator block comes with 2 suede applicator pads. And I am going to make sure I saturate this pretty good. This is, again, the first time we've applied the coating, so the pad is dry. Then I'm able to start up here at the top. I'm just going to go straight down the corner of the glass here. And then I'm just going to start doing straight lines across here. And I can tell I need to apply more coating. It's getting a little too grabby. Want to make sure you can see the coating being applied and that you absolutely have enough on here. And I'm going to cross hatch. Now we're going to apply 2 coats of this. This looks like it's really drying quick. Shouldn't have to be on very long at all. We're going to wait an hour before we apply a second coat. But basically you allow it to just settle onto the surface, then take your clean microfiber and level the coating. There's no grab at all when I'm leveling the coating. It's wiping off perfectly. Make sure you get all the way down the bottom of the glass so you don't leave any high spots. And that's all there is to it. We'll do the same thing to the other side. We will let it sit for an hour before we apply our second coat. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and do the other part of this glass. And again, you want to make sure that you get complete coverage. If you need to add additional coating, feel free to do that. Again, as I can feel this be a little bit harder to move, I'm adding more coating to the applicator. You want to make sure that you can see the coating on the surface. And we'll just keep going straight across. This is just glides right on. Then it will start to kind of appear like a haze, and that's when we can level it. Then I'm going to go back up and down. I'm going to add again a little bit more coating. This is a big piece of glass. I probably could have brought, maybe chopped this up into quarters. Maybe would have been a little bit better, but live and learn. Remember, we're going to do 2 coats on this anyway, 1 hour apart. All right. Take my leveling towel. Again, I want to wait just a little bit because I can see it's still a little bit. It is beating up on here, so it's really close. And I'm telling you, the wipe off is super easy. This just wipes off very easy. There's not really hard to wipe off at all. I would not leave it on, long. Usually the longer you leave these coatings on, most of them, follow the instructions, but most of them, the longer you leave them on, oftentimes it becomes harder to remove, but it just depends on the coating. Because some actually want you to leave it on there longer, and it's easier after it dries on the glass. So always read those directions, and we'll level it. And honestly, that's really all there is to putting on the glass coating. I can feel it feels very smooth. Now, once the coating is on, we really would prefer to give it a few days before getting wet, at least a few hours. Again, I'm going to wait an hour, then I'm going to put another layer on. That's the recommendation, particularly for the front windshield where you have wipers and things. If you're going to coat the sides, you can probably just do 1 coat on those. All right, well, we're done putting on the glass coating. We've done 2 coats of Katiba Glass Shield to the windshield as well as to the side windows. We did 1 coat, and I did 2 coats to the back window where there's a wiper as well. So 2 coats helps where you have wipers, because the #1 enemy to a glass coating, or frankly any coating, is abrasion. So that friction decreases the life of the coating. So having 2 layers helps to provide additional durability. Katiba says you should get about a year or 25 to 30,000 miles. I don't know what miles has to do with it, quite honestly, but I think, if you can get 12 months, I think it's fantastic. We'll see how long it lasts. Again, a lot of that is dependent on the wiper usage. So if you're somebody who likes to use the wipers, no matter what, you're going to get less life. I know in my car with other coatings, I very, very rarely needed to use wipers, and I got long durability and longevity with a glass coating. My wife, on the other hand, tends to use the wipers out of habit, uses them more. Her coating was much less than a year and I had to reapply it. Not the end of the world. But I love having glass coatings. Quite honestly, I think it's one of the most essential things you can do because it does provide some additional safety and visibility during rain. Also helps get ice and snow off. Anyway, glass is all done. The Rivian's all done. I can't show you the hydrophobics yet on this glass because we just did it, but I will bring the Rivian back and maybe do a short and add that to YouTube so you can see the hydrophobics. There's no doubt in my mind after looking at the hydrophobics on the ceramic, it's going to be out of this world just because Katiba clearly makes some tremendous products. I encourage you to check them out at the House of Rags. And remember, coupon Bruce's Garage will help you save a little bit. If you want to use that, helps to support the channel as well. And I appreciate a thumbs up and a subscribe if you're finding my content valuable to you. That helps me as well. I appreciate you coming to the channel today and watching Katiba glass coating. Remember, the most important thing is go out in your garage and just have fun. Have a great day.